Okay. Good morning. There we go. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? We kept the rain away. That's how many people we had. Well, Ted actually did a really good thing because we never really ever head count this space and whoever is in here. We actually have 90 people in here right now. It doesn't seem like that or feel like that, but that's awesome. All right, I'm going to start over. Good morning. There we go. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming to 1 Million Cups. Raise the hands. Who's a first timer? So we got new people. Awesome. That's great. We got 4 people here that are first timers. Most of you guys already know the process. 6-minute presentation, 15 minutes of Q&A. When we do Q&A, you have that nice-looking gentleman right there who got a haircut. He's going to be walking around, so raise your hands, and he will come to you with the mic, and I will also be doing the Q&A as well. But we're just going to go ahead and get started since everybody knows the process, and I'm going to introduce Jenny with FieldTrip Wichita to kind of share a little bit about good old Wichita, Kansas with you. So let's give a round of applause.
Go. Green means go. There we go. All right, I'm ready. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm so happy that you're all here. And I'm very excited to present for you the concept of FieldTrip Wichita that I've been working on. So Wichita is a wonderful entrepreneurial city. Working hard and receiving a payoff is in our blood. We stand on this foundation of sweat and tears and hustle, especially lately. And over the past several years, we've seen all of this hard work pay off. Fantastic districts, rich culture, really polishing the gem of a city that we knew was already there. So why am I here talking about taking a field trip when it appears that everything is going so well? One word, burnout. Did you love my clip art? Yeah. In 2015, 41% of workers in the US left paid vacation days unused. Just like athletes need time to recover their bodies while they're training, or a car needs fuel, or your phone needs battery charged, our minds and our bodies need truly restful breaks in order to recoup our energy and prevent exhaustion. Not only that, but constantly pushing our minds without breaks is proven to reduce our creativity and problem-solving skills. So distractions can be incredibly distracting and very, very draining too. So let's try an experiment. Everyone's going to do it with me. Take a couple fingers. Take a couple fingers and stick it into your ribs. Just get it in there, between a couple ribs. Really push it in there, yeah? How's that feel? Keep them there. Don't take it out yet. Leave it there. Leave it there. So as your finger is in your ribs, think about how that feels. And think about what it would feel like to try and be innovative right now. Or try to do creative problem solving. Or have a very connecting conversation with one of your employees or your colleagues. Okay, you can take your fingers out now. The finger in the ribs is kind of a silly, description of what losing your energy is like, but it is just that. Stress, overwhelm, consumes us, and it takes away from our mental resources, and it's not a sustainable way to operate. And living healthfully and mindfully isn't just a fad. Meditation, retreats, being playful, incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine, it's all proven to help you feel more effective and sustained in your life, whether it's business or personal. And it can be vital to the success of a business. And a retreat is a great way to step back from your business for a new perspective, learn from experts and other entrepreneurs, and just refresh your brain. You don't know what you don't know, and sometimes you need other people to help you see things differently. And as I've gone through my own personal journey, I found myself attending other retreats in other cities, and I always think about, why can't Wichita have something like this? Why do I feel like I have to travel to the mountains or to the ocean to experience a real retreat? And as I explored that question and spoke to other Wichitans, I realized we can have this kind of thing in Wichita, and we really do need it. But it can be difficult to step away from our daily routines, especially when we are hustling so hard right now in Wichita. Not only can it be an obstacle to get ready to be out of the office, reacclimating when you get back can be just as hard. And allowing yourself to be fully present when you detach from your business can be really difficult if you're an entrepreneur. But what if you just stepped away for a day, or a half day, or maybe just over your lunch hour, and you didn't have to make travel arrangements or set your out-of-office reply for a week? And what if you could take a break from your day like you did in school, like a field trip? So FieldTrip Wichita is born. Local adult retreats for Wichitans who want to give themselves the gift of space, the gift of taking a break for the greater good of their businesses and their lives. So at FieldTrip Wichita, we provide a palatable retreat or getaway for the entrepreneurial community in Wichita. We help the community discover all there is to offer in Wichita and help reinvest money in Wichita instead of taking it away to a retreat location, a typical retreat location. And all in the process, you are facilitated by a certified professional coach. And you are working on discovering yourself through discovering your own hometown while the coach is holding that space for you. And discovering your own strengths as you discover things in Wichita. And it also provides a way to give you a new network of entrepreneurs to tap into who have the same kind of mindset and want to solve problems creatively and step away from your to-do list and open up your perspectives. So with FieldTrip Wichita, we have several formats that we're trying to work on right now. The half-day retreat, a full-day retreat, 6 weeks lunch sessions, and free meditation sessions. And we know how vital it is to continue reinvesting in our workforce. It's one of the top 4 challenges that James Chung presented to us in his report to Wichita. How do we train and retain talent so we keep the workforce developed and full in Wichita? And it's about taking a break and stepping back and looking at ourselves and noticing what we see and learning and growing from that. So right now I'm working on several different formats for FieldTrip Wichita and trying to figure out what's the best collaboration, where can partnerships be found, who are the type of people that I'm trying to attract, and that's why I've brought this presentation to you today. So as part of my what the community can do for me, I have some permission slips for everyone.
That's my
That'll
question.
be over there.
Don't
take a break.
steal my thunder, Jenny. Thank you. Good job.
Thanks. Go take a break.
Just trying to rush through. We can just chill out for like 10
Let's
minutes.
all
and then-
meditate out.
Well, we have question and answer. I think everybody knows how this goes. Please raise your hand if you have a question. And there's one right there. So Jake is also good looking with the short hair. So he'll come as well. Let us know.
So do you see this being a rural, visit local vineyards, local rural agritourism areas, or is it going to be,
It's funny you ask.
or will it be visiting urban environments as well? How do you see that happening?
I would like to be organic in how I proceed with my partnerships. Initially, I'm starting out in the downtown area just because that makes it easy to walk to different locations. Transportation is one of my big question marks right now. How do I secure safe, reliable transportation to get us out to a place like a lovely vineyard or other outlying places in Wichita? But I think that this could be the type of thing where it's a regional pull for sure. Taking people outside of their regular routine is the main thing that I want to accomplish. And natural places are a perfect place to reground yourself, find metaphors in the cultivation of plants and the growth cycle and these cycles within our own lives. So absolutely, yeah, open to those things.
Well, since I have to ask a question, is there a big yellow bus involved, or?
Dude, right? Like I want to have a cool bus.
I know, cool, and put the logo on the side and everything, nice. Informational, I saw on your slide as well too. You're looking for like informational stuff. What? Go off on that.
Informational stuff. What did I?
Well, it was on.
I was in a blur, guys. Come on.
Meditation, yeah. There you go.
Oh, informational sessions. There it
you go.
is. Yeah. Okay, so as I was preparing for this new program and everything, I did free coffees with people that I just offered it to the public. And I said, whoever wants to sign up to have free coffee with me, we'll do one-on-one and give me your ideas. So out of that, my awesome friend Paul, I don't know where you're at, he had a great idea for a service offering as a free meditation weekly that people can come to learn about meditation, learn about safe space and accountability and all of those things, but just in a smaller format and for free. And so that's what I'm going to be doing, hopefully starting next Wednesday, and it'll just be an ongoing thing where I provide information to people who are interested in the format, and they can test it out too. And I love leading meditation. I have a very pleasant voice. I don't know if you can tell. But it's really, really pleasant, I can tell you that, for meditation leading.
The one and only Kent Hansen has a question.
The one and only.
Hi. There's actually 3 of us, but we're never in the same place at the same time.
In this room.
Yeah, that's a lot, right? Hi, Jenny. I'm Kenton.
Oh, hey, Ken.
How do you make money?
So each of the field trips are available for individuals to register for. The prices range anywhere from $60 to $125, depending on what portion you're involved in. I'm also offering partnerships with companies who are interested in doing their own employee retreats, and the prices could vary from that. So basically, I would be cultivating an audience who would be interested in attending these field trips with me as the certified professional coach facilitating. And the way that I would keep it fresh is by visiting different locations, diving into different themes, you know, maybe self-discovery, maybe gratitude, whatever it may be, and then creating a raving fan base from that.
Another question here in the back.
Great presentation, and you do have a soothing voice.
Thank you so much.
I think everybody here could probably use some creative problem-solving skills or time to develop that, so I think
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Question is, you talked about people, certified instructors and whatnot. I'm kind of lost there. What kind of certifications are you planning to utilize?
Sure. Thank you for asking that. I'm a certified professional life coach, and so I've been trained to facilitate large groups, especially in retreat formats, to create a safe space. You know, I'm able to be detached, non-judgmental, show people what they may be thinking or saying that they might not see within themselves, just talking to a friend who has stake or advice that they want to give, or a mentor who's saying, you can do it this way because this is the way that I did it. As a certified professional coach, I believe and go by the values of everybody has the answers inside of them, and all they need is the space to be able to explore that. So the certification is intense training that I've received to be able to say, hi, I'm a certified coach, but naturally I'm a leader, and so I've been developing my leadership skills as I go. As far as other certified coaches being a part of this, I'm absolutely open to that. I think that there could be potential for creating my own certification program for FieldTrip Wichita so that people could become certified FieldTrip Wichita coaches, because you don't necessarily have to spend $10,000 and go to Denver to get a certification to do retreats. It takes a personality, it takes a certain type of leader, and I feel like I am that leader.
Hi, so I really love your idea on community and connection. And one of the things as maybe a startup or an entrepreneur, how do you find a way to quantify more than just the feel good? So if I come to an event or maybe 6, and you know, I look at the budget and I say, I've got to cut something.
Right.
How do you quantify the return on investment, or is there any data that you collect to show a direct impact on a business or an entrepreneur?
Right, yeah, that's a really great question. So one of the things that I like to do is do a survey before the event and then after the event too. What I'm measuring there is satisfaction. Because ultimately the way that we perform in our lives, in our personal lives, is how we're gonna perform in every aspect of our life. If we are putting off our own personal growth, if we are putting other things ahead of our real needs, then that's how we're gonna show up in other ways in our lives too. So the way that we would move the needle is by measuring your satisfaction before the retreat, measuring your satisfaction after the retreat, and then hopefully, if you're continuing to come, we're setting goals that you're working towards then. So if you're not meeting those benchmarks that you've set for yourself, A, I would look at what the benchmark is with you and say, what is it that's standing in your way from getting to this? And then B, maybe we need to change what the goal is, depending on what's inside of you and what you really want. And that's when you get into the one-on-one coaching. This is all group coaching right now. So.
To your left. Hi, Jenny.
Yeah, hi.
So I have a two-part question, a little bit more lighthearted than some of the others. What is your favorite class that you teach, and what is the most popular one?
Let's see. My favorite class to teach is Disconnect to Reconnect. And that's a workshop that I created that helps you to take an inventory of all the mess that's in your head and then see what you want to take with you and what you want to move forward with. It's really, really fun and artistic and gets people into a really silly, fun space, but then takes you to a serious space after that. I'll say that the most popular project, or the most popular workshop that I teach is project management, which is kind of meh. So I'm like, let's do life management, guys. Come on. But yeah, I'm working on moving more away from the project management. This is how you're efficient. This is how you're effective, and getting more into the core stuff of why are you having trouble being effective and efficient. So yeah.
So working out obviously helps with the retreating type stuff. Have you ever, in addition to the informational sessions, have you thought about partnering with the gym, boot camp facility to do something like that? Because if so, I'll talk to you afterwards.
I think that would definitely draw a certain type of audience, and I'm definitely open to that. I also teach yoga, so I'm very much in the same like mind-body awareness that I could assume that you are in also. So, okay.
Yeah. For someone who maybe isn't familiar with personal development or this kind of space, isn't comfortable with, how can you, or how do you see like parlaying like that language or that kind of experience to someone who, like, to them it feels like crossing an ocean to even try it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm really lucky right now because we have people like Brene Brown, who's very outwardly focused and putting her message out there. So a lot of the stuff that I talk about isn't so alien. But as a coach, I'm trained to be able to level the playing field. And one of my strengths is being able to create harmony with a group also. So I'm able to tap into where a group is pretty easily. If it's a group of people who are like, yeah, let's talk about our why and like really get into what my gremlin is and, you know, all of that kind of like coach speak stuff, I can totally tap into that. But if it's a group that is needing to warm up to that, I'm going to be able to customize the way that I facilitate with them to be able to accommodate to them too. And the way that we do that is through, it goes back to basics, through breathing and grounding and being vulnerable and sharing and setting up ground rules. Ground rules are incredibly important where we are all in the space together. There is no judgment. Anything that happens during the retreat stays in the retreat. Nobody else is there to give advice. As the group leader, I'm there to facilitate, and any issues are brought to me, not to the side conversations. So it's a trust exercise for sure. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi. Hi.
When are you getting started with these fabulous sounding retreats?
Oh, I'm so glad that you asked.
Sounded like a setup question.
Jordan's one of my ambassadors, so. And actually, that's a great point. So I have a couple of retreats starting this month in September, and I'm trying the half day, the full day, and then the lunch format. And then I have October scheduled as well, but I'm trying to keep open with that. I have amazing ambassadors, Paul and Jordan, and Nina's not here, but the ambassadors I choose for each of the retreat events so that I have someone who's attending that can help me promote it, and then also they help give me feedback during the actual event. So if you're interested in attending and getting in on a deeper level with this, apply to become an ambassador, and I'm looking through the applications to see who's a good match for the different events, and you can attend for free. You get a ticket for 50% off for a future retreat that you can share with somebody or you can use for yourself. And that's just another way that I like to collaborate and bring everybody in on this. So.
I'm new to Wichita. I've been here maybe from Topeka actually, and I've recently been reading a lot of articles about all the things there are to do in Wichita museums and things like that. When you were first talking about field trips from school, I was kind of thinking that kind of, you know, like we all hold hands and go through the museum. then you're also talking about a lot of things like getting back to nature and so forth. So are these retreats in a place where you're kind of alone with trying to focus on kind of mental exercises? What's this? I'm not thinking meditation, but can't think of the term. But anyway, where it's more of an escape to get away as a group to try to talk about things rather than an actual event somewhere. Is that the format?
Yeah, this is definitely deeper than just grade school kids going to the museum or something like that. The field trip aspect of it is to get you out and to explore. But what I'd really like to incorporate is at least one outside location, as long as weather permits, and then an inside location where you're not so much necessarily diving deep into the location, but you're inspired by the location. A good example is going down to City Arts. One of the activities that I did for a retreat, we went in and I gave everybody phone time because I take away your phones. I gave everybody phone time, and they had 30 minutes to either to check their email and then also do an activity in City Arts where they took 5 different photos of different pieces of work that were in City Arts that they felt represented their own strengths. And then they brought them back and we all presented them and everything. So it's diving into deeper awareness, doing activities that are helping you articulate what your values are, helping with your goal setting, types of personal development activities that you're doing at the retreats. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm definitely a Wichita nerd, and I love finding the best place at all the different attractions and the hidden places too that you wouldn't necessarily go to on your own, or you wouldn't necessarily make time to usually to go to.
To your left. How do we find you in the information?
Yeah. I have a website set up, fieldtripwichita.com, and then on Facebook you can follow the latest events. And then also for coaching, JennyAWiley.com is my personal coaching page. And if you need proof that you need a break, I've gathered up several articles, and you can go to JennyAWiley.com/proof you need a break and look for ammunition to either convince yourself or convince your boss or convince a friend to join you to take a break.
And the last question, besides a permission slip, what, as a Wichita community, we do to help you?
Well, basically this, I'm looking for ambassadors, I'm looking for locations. If you own a company or you're a part of a company that you think that would benefit from this, let's talk. Come to an event and try it out, and please let me know what you think, because this is very important to me to help create the beauty and the cultivation of Wichita from the inside out. So it's up to you guys, it's up to us to take care of ourselves so that we can be better. And then also, if you want to help spread the word, that would be great. Yeah. And don't forget your own permission slip. Give yourself a break. You can eat lunch outside, read a personal development book.
Awesome. Good job, Jenny. Thank you. Your hand. We have a one-of-a-kind 1 million cups presenter.
Oh, it doesn't look anything like this.
No, it doesn't. It's totally different. You can stick this one in. You can stick this one in your ribs if you want to. It'll just hold there for a while. But anyway, it'll remind you that you need a break. So thank you. I think Jake's got some announcements.
As always, we always have announcements in between to talk about current events that are going on, and all these are brought to you by startupwitch.com/events. Not going to dive into a lot of them. A couple things to note that are this week. We have Witch Talks coming up on Friday, September 16th, which is this Friday. I believe there's still tickets available. It's free to attend. Donations are encouraged, but Kevin Faulting actually came and presented at 1 Million Cups a few weeks ago. So I recommend, if you guys haven't checked it out, he's got 10 speakers that talk about everything they're passionate about. So go check that out. A few events that are coming up. One to make a note of is Accelerate the Heartland. We've been talking about it for the past several weeks. It's on October the 5th. The reason why we're bringing it up, because if you come here on October 5th or 1 Million Cups, you'll be all by yourself because nobody is here. We are going to be at the Marriott over at Webb and Kellogg. 1 Million Cups is going to still be free like it is, but the event for the rest of the day, there is a fee to it, but we would love for you to be there. It's all about a day of innovation and entrepreneurship and a lot of cool things that are happening that day. But there are handouts as you walk out for Excel at the Heartland, and Jake is going to show you. That's a different one. That's not the right one. There's actually a few events. There's some flyers up there, so feel free. Nope, that's the wrong one too. There's Accelerate the Heartland. But there are a few other events that are happening that are all, there in the community. So I would highly recommend grabbing one of those as you walk out. And like I said, startupwichita.com/events. Great place to start. Am I missing anything, Kenton or Ted? Yes. No, we're good. Can we announce what you're doing yet for 1 Million Cups? Okay. You got to come. You got to come to figure out what Kenton's got up his sleeve for 1 Million Cups. It's going to be exciting. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up our next presenter. Many of you guys actually saw him on Get Started Wichita at Cox Communications, which he is actually the winner of that event. So this is exciting to have him up on stage to really share Lawn Buddy with you guys. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce Stephen Warner with Lawn Buddy. So.
Thank you. All the faces. That's not the right slide. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Alrighty, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephen Warner, and our company is Lawn Buddy. So I often joke that Lawn Buddy was born out of the fear of a good woman and a slight touch of laziness. So I had, one day in early spring, I had pulled into my driveway, and I had glanced over after I had parked, and my lawn was completely overgrown. And I could still hear my wife in my head harassing me for not getting it done again. And as I sat there, I thought, man, I wish there was like an on-demand service that I could go to that was similar to Uber or Lyft, that I could just log in and have someone come and mow my lawn. Someone I could trust that wasn't a neighborhood kid, and maybe that had a background check, something like that. And in that instance, Lawn Buddy was born. So short story about that too. We actually placed second in the Shocker New Venture competition. And then, like Jacob said, we just won the Wichita Get Started Cox event. It's the first inaugural winners. A little bit more in depth, Lawn Buddy is a mobile app and web-based platform. It's a local veteran-owned startup that provides year-round on-demand lawn care and snow removal services. We actually connect the lawnpreneurs, is what we call them, so the individual lawn care providers or the small and medium-sized companies. That was my one stroke of brilliance. Everything else was the team. So we get them connected with homeowners and business owners for the lawn care and snow removal services. We really aim to create value for our customers by improving the overall customer experience, by taking the hassle out, because a lot of people say, well, aren't you just a middleman in that case? And not necessarily. We cut out like 3 to 4 middlemen and kind of provide you with the best lawn care and snow removal services we possibly can. So a little bit about the market. More than 8 million homes in the U.S. have lawns. The average homeowner spends about $700 annually on lawn care, bringing the total market value to around $73 billion, has a growth rate of 3.9%, and that was from 2011 to 2016. And trends right here in Wichita show that they'll be increasing by 3.3% in the next 3 years. Now let's talk about local. How do we keep it local, right? So we plan to expand, but the lawn care providers don't necessarily do that. So we're going to partner with the individuals, the small and the medium, that are right here in our communities that will affect our city by creating more jobs, by creating more wealth, and it really help us expand our communities. All right, so like I was saying, Lawn Buddy is a year-round service. When you hear the name Lawn Buddy, a lot of people immediately associate it with lawn care, but that's not all we do. We have several services that we offer besides the lawn care, including fall leaf removal, fertilizing, snow and ice removal, which is a big one that we're coming up on. We didn't get a whole lot of snow in here in Wichita last year, which people keep telling me that it snows a lot here in Wichita, but 2 years, not really, not catching on to it. But we did get a lot of ice. So that's another thing that we're building off of, is the ice removal. We kind of pivot with that a little bit, that I'll go on to a little bit after there. So here's a little quick glimpse about what our app is going to look like. So as you can see up here, as you log in, you're going to automatically have your address pull up. If it's not your address, you simply click no. If it is, you click yes. Right below here, we have an API that is going to calculate the square footage of your lawn or driveway, giving you instant pricing, which virtually eliminates the estimating. So waiting for someone to come out, kind of like that window for the service provider. They'll be there between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. We eliminate that. to where you have it instantly. Going forward, you're going to look and see what exactly we do. So as you go into your lawn care service, you're going to be able to add additional services onto their dog dropping removal, leaf removal, aeration. If you want me to sing you a song, I've been practicing Ave Maria. It's really good. At least that's what she tells me. And then, like I was saying, we pivot a little bit for the snow and ice removal because we don't expect you to wake up at 3 a.m. and go onto an app and say, hey, will you please come and shovel or de-ice my driveway before I wake up. What it is a month-to-month basis to where you're not in a contract, you can cancel at any time, but as soon as it meets a certain threshold of ice buildup or snowfall, we'll actually dispatch immediately and take care of it before you wake up. So that is true for both the residential and the homeowners. With the residential, they actually get to set the parameters as far as what meets the snow or ice removal. For instances, someone told me the other day that bars, when it snows, people go there a lot. And they can't have any snow or ice on there at all. So if there's a small dusting, they want you to come and remove it so it doesn't turn into ice. Something we can pivot and help you guys with as we go forward with that. Already our target market, I'm not going to go in depth too much on this, is millennials because we're all getting homes now. Baby boomers because our parents are getting old and we don't want them out on the ice skating around. So we're going to take care of them. And then entrepreneurs. I put that there because that's one of our giant target markets. So a lot of people associate with us with the homeowners, the residential side, but our most valued customer, in my opinion, is our entrepreneurs because their success is ultimately our success. So we want to really cater to them as well as everyone else. Alrighty, this is the team. That's my smiling mug up there. A little background on me. I was in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years, came out of that, got into the construction management world as a project manager. That's where I met my wife. After that, we'll move over to Sonia because I met her there. She's an electrical engineer. She has vast experience with high-level projects ranging in the multi-million dollars. So she is a very key part of making sure that we're successful. I'm more the big picture, and she can get all those nitty-gritty details down as an electrical engineer. Brandon Light, he's not here with us this morning, but he's our Chief Marketing Officer. A lot of you probably recognize him if you shoot a lot down at Thunderbird Firearms Academy. He actually helped grow them into a multi-million dollar business. So we brought him on board for our marketing. And then Philip Matthew, who's sitting right here in the front row. He is actually our technical co-founder. He is going to come in and he's going to help us build the app and website as well as strategically partnering with Innovar back there. So we're going to build that up with him, and we're really excited to get going with it. And as I said, this is my favorite slogan. As we come to an end, we're bringing an archaic industry into the 21st century, so we'd really enjoy it if you joined us.
All right. Good job.
Thank you.
I gave Jenny hugs, but I'll just shake your hand.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's okay.
All right, question and answer, so fire away. Not too fast, though.
Oh, I did that good of a job? Oh.
What do you see as a minimum requirement for somebody to actually join this workforce that would do stuff for you? Like, you know what I mean?
So for a lawn care provider or snow care provider, is that what you're saying? Yep.
Like if I got a mower and a weed eater, can I just, give you guys a call and say, hey, I want to be part of your system? Or
not necessarily give us a call, but what you're going to do is you're going to contact us. You're going to submit a photo of your equipment so we can verify that it'll actually run. We don't want you to go halfway through a lawn and it break down or catch on fire. We don't really like that. They don't like it either. But you're also going to go through a background check because you are going to be going to people's homes, so we want to make sure that whoever is coming to your home is safe and they're on good term. You're also going to have to provide insurance. We're partnering with a couple different insurance agencies to make sure that the individual lawn care providers can get a low rate on it. The small and medium lawn care providers, they already have insurance, so it's not that big of a deal for them. But there are certain requirements that you're going to have to meet with us before you can start mowing or shoveling.
So for just the average to come and mow my yard without any of the extras, what does that include? Do you bag it? Is edging more, or is it just you run in, cut it, and leave?
Yep, so right now for our beta testing, the edging's actually included, but going forward it won't be. So there's the add-on boxes over here. So right here you're going to be able to go in and you can customize it. So also on the back end, hey, it's Brandon. But you can go in on the back end and you can request specific services, and then they can also leave notes so that we know exactly what you would like. If you would like it bagged, we can bag it. Most of the time we're going to mulch it because especially in the hot summer times that we have here, it's healthier for your grass to build up that good base. So, but yes, you can completely customize it.
To your left. Hi, Stephen. It's me, Kenton.
Hi, Kenton. Can you ask me a pointed question?
Ooh, I wasn't ready for that. But the question I had, if I come up with a pointed one, I'll switch to it. But the question I had is, I assume you're taking a percentage or a cut of the cost of the lawn care.
Yes, that's correct. So
how does that work exactly?
Yep. So
and without leaving anything out.
we want to make a little bit of money. So we're going to retain 15 to 25% of every transaction, and that is going to be negotiated. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different if you're a larger scale lawn care or snow removal company because you have more equipment and personnel. So we'll negotiate that rate with you, but it's going to fall between the 15 to 25%.
Here's a demographic question. Are you not targeting Generation Xers like me because you know we only spend $15 a year on lawn care?
So, no, not necessarily. The thing that I'm finding most is we do get a lot of Generation X that comes in, but Generation X is kind of like that tail end of the hard-working, the greatest generation, right? To where you still get out and mow your lawn. But a good thing that Chris Kalin told us the other day was Uber's model is built around inconvenience, really. So, yeah, maybe 15% of you don't own a car, but the people who do own a car and they don't want to drive that day, that's where we come in. And that's where we're seeing a lot with the Generation X when they come in. They don't want to mow it or they have an opportunity cost.
Great model and all. This job, as growing up, this used to be our job.
Mhm.
We used to, if we wanted a new Nintendo, we had to go out, shovel yards.
Yep.
Any kind of community outreach for kids, maybe, I don't know, there's like,
Mhm.
yeah,
So, I looked into the kid aspect of it in high school kids. It's a gigantic liability issue. So I didn't really want to touch that, so we left it at 18. Obviously, we may be cutting into some of the kids' gaming money. But we give them something to aspire to be when they grow up. And it also, like you were talking about, it's a hassle for people for bill pay and scheduling and stuff like that, to where if you did want to start up your own company, because that's essentially what the lawn care providers are doing for the entrepreneurs, as they're starting their own company, and we take the hassle out of the lawn mowing side of it, so you don't have to schedule, you don't have to bill pay, you don't have to worry about marketing. We provide that for you so you can grow. You don't always have to stay with us because lawn care providers aren't locked into a contract either. But we just try and really nourish the entrepreneurial spirit for those individual ones as well.
It's not Kent who has a question.
Okay. Hi, Benny.
So we each only get one question. So this pointed question is brought to you by Kenton Hansen.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
So really, though, this is a great question. So how are you going to keep all of your partners from, after they provide service, creating a relationship with the customer and working with them in the future without using you?
Legal documents. So we're going to set them up with non-solicit and non-competes to where their organic customers are theirs. So if they had lawn care homes before that, that's theirs to keep unless they reach out to us. But anyone who reaches out to us, that's where it's going to fall into that non-solicit, non-compete, to where we will take legal action because they're effectively taking our money after that. To ensure that doesn't happen. Now, on the back end of that is that we're trying to really make it to where the lawn care providers don't want to do that. We want to make it as beneficial to them as they possibly can, to where they don't ever want to go and kind of get the one house when we can provide them 6 to 12. So.
I think the ice removal aspect is really, really compelling.
I know, right?
I had never thought of that, but I am kind of curious about how early you could have someone come out. Because if you're leaving for work at like 6:30 a.m., is it realistic to think that someone could be dispatched at like 5:30 to get my ice off basically in the dead of the night?
So that's a really good question, and I have intimate experience with this. My father owned a snow removal and ash removal business as a kid, or not as a kid, as he was an adult and I was a kid. But I was the person who would wake up at 3:30 in the morning and go out and shovel the walks and do that. So effectively what we're doing is we're going to have that to where it's going to be an early day for us, but the customers who come on and they are pre-registered with it, because I mentioned we kind of pivoted a little bit to that month-to-month service, is that we'll be dispatched and you're guaranteed to have that done by 8 o'clock a.m. If you have other needs that you have to be gone at like 6:30, like you said, then we can tailor that to meet your specific need. But if you do the on-demand, no. It's going to come when it comes. But I hope that answered your question about the scheduling aspect of it, so you should sign up for it. So.
This question comes with a high five.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
When can I start using Lawn Buddy?
So Lawn Buddy is currently in beta testing right now. That's just a fancy word for we're trying to figure everything out. But we are out in Wichita right now, so you can log on to our website, which is www.lawnbuddyICT.com. That was my country accent that came out a little bit. Or you can go on Facebook, social media, or I'll give you my business card and you can call me. And make sure you listen for what we can do for you, because I might have something for you.
Question to your left.
is this like Uber where I can see a list of service providers that I can go in and select from there and then continually select those services from that provider if I need to?
Yes, it is. So you'll actually have a rating system that is exactly kind of like Uber. We're just not going to use stars. We'll use something creative like blades of grass, lawnmower, something like that. But you can go in and you can rate them, and if you have someone that you specifically like that you want to return, you can request that person for multiple services. Now, if you get into the on-demand feature of it to where you're like, oh man, it's 10 a.m. and I have people coming over in the evening, I need someone to do it, he would have to adjust his schedule. So if you went to the on-demand feature, he probably wouldn't be able to come and do it. I'm not saying that's 100% not guaranteed. The on-demand is mainly first come, first serve, because they would end up having to shift their schedule if they had already scheduled lawns to come and meet that. But from all the surveys I've done for people who just need their lawn done, they don't really care who comes out to it. They just want it done and want it done right. To where you'll see who's coming, you'll have that star rating, you'll see their picture, and you'll see all the reviews on it. And then also, if that person was coming to your home, he actually rates you as well. We have a system that's internal that they can see that you like your lawn cut to a specific length. You want the back gate shut because your dog's outside, to where they leave notes to where you get the same exact service every single time, as close as we can.
Question here in the back.
In terms of your providers, how will you make it fair for providers to get equal opportunity for these requests for service?
As far as equal opportunity?
Yeah, like how will some get dispatched more than others? How do you make it everyone get a chance at the piece?
From the studies that we've done, the individual lawn care providers are going to really want to look at the on-demand jobs because it's going to pay more, because there's going to be a little bit of a premium for an on-demand job versus a scheduled job, to where that entices them a little bit more. So we're really kind of gearing that towards them, whereas the small and medium-sized lawn care companies, they don't really want the on-demand jobs. They've already got lawns that they have to take care of for the day, and they just want to add on to that towards the end of the day and come use the service.
We have a really good question over here.
On the logistics side, is it a first come, first serve, or does each zip code have its own time frame? So 67208, is that like a 1 through 3 o'clock, you're going to get your lawn mowed, or how does the logistics work?
Yep, so unless it's scheduled, then obviously you're going to know when they're coming. We're going to give you about a 2 to 3 hour window. I've been doing 2, and that's been working out really good because they normally show up on time. But if you do the on-demand feature, it's going to be a wider range because it's first come, first serve. So we'll guarantee that your lawn is done by the end of the day.
Another question in the back.
Who does the liability fall on? For instance, I had a mowing guy decide to mow my rocks. Is that on you, or is that on the lawn company?
So I'm glad you asked that question. So I don't hire anyone. So they are all 1099 contractors that are required to have their own insurance with them, so all their own liability insurance, because that question came up exactly like that. If they're coming in, how can I guarantee that they're not going to break something? Well, one, we're going to provide them with training, both online and physical, and two, they're going to have their own liability insurance to where it won't necessarily come back to us. I mean, everything is going to probably end up coming back to us anyways, but we want them to have that liability insurance to where they're that first line of defense, because they're the one who effectively caused the problem. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. How do you plan on approaching like opposition when like larger service providers or cities are kind of raising hell about this? Much like Uber or Airbnb, has to kind of face that stuff when they grow.
Yep, and that's kind of a bridge that you're talking about as we grow into the different cities and stuff. It's going to be on a case-by-case basis. Every time we grow, we're going to go in and we're going to sit down with the city. We're going to make sure that we have all the logistics ironed out to where that we can safely operate in there. Now, for instance, in Wichita, you have to have a business license to operate. In Derby, you don't necessarily have to have a business license. But we are going to require everyone that is an individual lawn care provider also get a business license. Does that answer your question? Okay, yeah, so if someone's large and they think that we're encroaching on their territory and it's like gang wars or something like that. So what we're doing with that, I initially thought that. Like I thought, I'm going to come out and I'm going to make all these lawn care providers super mad because I'm going to undercut their business. And that was the exact opposite, because it seems like every small to medium-sized lawn care provider, not like True Green, they've got their stuff unlocked, but has come out to me and say, hey, I want to use your service. When we were at the Cox Get Started Wichita event, we had a guy who was retired who owned a lawn care company that said, if you do this, I'll come out of retirement to work, because it was the most hassle that he had was all the stuff that we simplify.
Question in the front.
Uber has a like a cancellation policy from the lawn entrepreneur. Like if they arrive and the person says, you know what, I cancel anyway. Have you thought about like they were already had their schedule made up, or even on the on-demand, the entrepreneur drove across town to get that on-demand deal done, and then the person's like, nah, I didn't want it done after all, whatever.
So that's a good question. It is no contracted, so they have the ability to cancel, and that's something that I actually want the lawn care providers to do. Because one thing that we see with contracted work is they come 2 weeks no matter what. If it rained that afternoon, they're going to come out and mow your lawn because even if it needs it or it doesn't need it. So if it's going to rain on the day that they're scheduled to come out there, we're going to need you to cancel because we don't want someone out mowing your lawn in the rain because, one, it's a safety hazard, and two, it's not really going to do anything because their lawnmower is going to get yanked up and die. However, if it falls within like a 30-minute time frame, we may charge we've tossed around like a restocking fee, something like that, to where we retain a certain percentage of the funds that they had already paid, but then we refund everything else for a late cancellation, kind of similar to like a hotel or something like that. But I have thought about it.
How do you handle people who maybe don't mow their yards for like a month and a half, and they have a square foot, and you quoted them $30 for that?
Yep. So it's funny that you mentioned that because it's like all beta testing. It's like everyone who waits like a month to mow their lawn after it's rained for 3 weeks comes and talks to us. And at first it was like, well, yeah, we'll do it because I don't know how long your grass is. But we've actually built in a system to where if it's above a certain length, like 6 inches, that there'll actually be an upcharge on there. And that's something that we encourage our entrepreneurs to do is when they get there, if it's above a certain length and they can't effectively do it, then don't be afraid to say, hey, because of the length of your grass, we are going to have to charge you an upcharge. But we are building that into our software to make sure that we account for that.
And then second part question is, take that lawn, for instance, that lawn's mostly infested in weeds probably and crabgrass. How do you prevent that from coming to like my yard, which has none of that?
That's actually an excellent question, and someone brought something similar to that up with the dog waste, is if they ran through it and they go in and it submits some kind of disease. Same thing with cross-pollination. What we're going to do is we're going to have someone who is scheduled for a lot of lawns to actually almost disinfect their equipment. Not necessarily. A lot of lawnmowers these days come with a port that you can put a hose in that washes everything off before you go over, but that's something that we really want to address as well because it's something that's not really addressed here in Wichita. You see everyone rolling around and just mow everyone's lawn. I know I have like 3 different grasses growing in my lawn, which isn't good for me owning the company, but we got to wait for the overseeding season. But yeah, so that's something I really want to mitigate because it is a problem and kind of address it, and that's where we kind of want to bring the archaic industry into the 21st century.
Question. Right, Brett? Actually, I was just, when you were talking about the competition issue and whether people would have issues with it, I thought it was really kind of interesting from the standpoint of marketing that a lot of small companies would want to be part of your service because you do provide the customer, you give them a broad exposure to the entire city as opposed to their friends and neighbors and things like that. So it seems like a really good thing. I think you may have addressed this. The other part was, if I say, yes, I want service, who gets that? You know, I've got company A, B, C, D out there that are buying for my business. Who gets that chance to draw? Is it just kind of they just sit there and watch their phones, and as soon as it pops up, they say, yeah, I want to do it? Or
yeah, something similar to that. They can log in and look for jobs if they'd like to, but they also set their own schedule, because what we were kind of tailoring it to, like you hit earlier, is that we really want to provide a platform for them for like the college kids. When we did the Shocker New Venture competition, if you're going to school, you don't have necessarily a full-time work schedule that you can kind of negotiate with. This kind of gives them that freedom to where they can log in and they can pick and choose the jobs they want. As far as the on-demand feature, it's going to go almost to the first come, first serve. You can also do geographic area to where if you want to keep it in your community, there's a radius bar that you can see all the people who are in that area that could come and mow your lawn. And you can also request the same service provider to come back if you'd like that. But for the on-demand, not necessarily. It's going to be the first come, first serve. But you will see their rating and their profile and all of that.
can part of your system then be that they get a message or something, rather than having to log in to see if there's jobs? It wouldn't be better if I hear ding, hey, I can go do this?
Yes, and actually what we've built into the system is something that we nicknamed Carrier Pigeon. It's actually a in-house communication system between both us and the lawn care providers and the lawn care providers to the customer, to where that will be able to alert them if there's a job opening or anything like that. You know, when you get the storm alerts on your phone when they're geofencing and stuff like that, it's going to be very similar to that, to where if there's someone looking for a lawn in your area and you're available, then it'll alert you and you can log in and sign up for that job.
I was just curious about the leaf removal.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I don't like to do.
always
Yeah.
turns out to be 20 bags.
Yep.
And how do you figure up what you charge on that?
So with the leaf removal, it's very interesting that you said that because Wichita has a lot of trees. We're going to charge basically the standard lawn care price because it may not seem like it's a lot of work to go and take care of the leaves at first until you start getting into it and you're like, oh my God, what have I done? So we're going to charge you just that standard lawn care price for us to come out. We're going to bag the leaves. We're going to remove the leaves for you. But it's just going to be same API we're going to use. We're just going to say that it's a lawn mow instead of a leaf remove.
When do you anticipate the app being ready?
The app will be ready before the winter comes. No, so it'll be ready before November 1st. And it'll be in the marketplace before November 1st.
Do you have any API integrations with other softwares or platforms? So one thing that was kind of brought up, and this might not be a real concern, with dispatching jobs. If I was a medium-sized company, I wanted the on-demand. If I want to dispatch jobs and have somebody sitting in front of a computer, is there any way to integrate that into their local programs or other softwares?
Yes, so the lawn care provider, and I think I'm answering your question correctly. You can say, whoa, if I'm not. So the entrepreneur or those small, medium-sized companies will actually have their own application that's built in to where they can sit in it and they can view all those jobs that are coming in to where they can set their schedules. So if it's like that small and medium-sized company that are sitting there and they say, hey, I need to fill some stuff, they can sit in and they can see what's available and they can schedule those jobs.
You stole my question, Jason. My issues with Thumbtack, Home Advisor, there's multiple companies doing it. I've had direct experience with them. It's a race to the bottom. It's cutthroat, so then when you become the middle guy, you're 5 to 20 employees. As far as licensing goes, and even the bigger guys, I'm sure they can afford to do the same platform if they wanted to. True Green could do this on their own, I'm sure. But is there a licensing opportunity to not make an enemy with the middle grade guys where you're offering, hey, we will design this interface specifically for you. You have 20 staff members, you want your clients to have better experience. Could you throw their logo on it, do the exact same interface, and win-win? Or is that conflicting?
So I've thought about what you just addressed, and I kind of touched on it earlier. I was afraid of the same thing. I thought those medium-sized companies weren't going to want us. They weren't going to do anything with us, but they've actually reached out even more because our platform provides them somewhere to stand to where they can do that marketing, they can do that bill pay. It simplifies everything, and then we're also going to be able to sell advertisements on our platform as well, to where if they want to be the sponsored lawn care provider for their area, then they can have that on the platform when customers log in to see it. So we want to make it a win-win for both of us and not make them feel like we're stealing their customers away from them.
Question here in the front.
You mentioned like a business license and online training and in-person training, so it sounds kind of like an elaborate process to onboard these entrepreneurs. How long do you see that taking, and what is the cost to you?
So to bring the entrepreneurs on board, obviously we're going to have a marketing cost because I'm going to have to go out and we're going to have to find them. But as far as them going through the training and everything, when they log on, our backend is going to take them through the steps. So it's not just going to be like they get a Word paper and they have to go and do all these things themselves. The only thing that they'll have to export to is the business license for that specific region that they're in. But the online training is going to be through the app. We're going to have that built in so they can view it. And there's a balloon company in town that I always forget the name of, but they have summits where they train people how to do their balloons and properly inflate them and stuff like that, to where we're going to almost take that model and do it the same for the lawn care providers. To once to twice to 3 times a year, we're going to have a giant almost lawn care festival or snow care festival, to where we come out, we have a good time, and then we also show everyone the new techniques and everything that go into lawn care, because I thought it was really an archaic industry and you just push a lawnmower and you get it done, but there's so much stuff that's new that's coming out that's really kind of changing our industry. So we'll keep them up with the latest trends and everything with that as well.
How do you take care of your disposal costs? And is it something that's added into your rates already? And does it change city to city?
So our disposal costs you're talking about for the leaf removal, all that. So it's going to be added into the cost, except for in the lawn care side. For the leaf, it'll be added in. But if you want us to bag your clippings, it will be an extra cost, because the lawn care provider will then have to bag it, and then they'll have to take it to a dump facility. So there will be a charge, but it's not going to be a giant charge. It'll probably be around $5 for you to do that, because you're not going to be the only one who wants your clippings removed, to where that adds up to where at the end of the day we can do one massive dump run and get it done.
Awesome. And the last question, probably the best one, is what as the Wichita community can we do to help you?
Awesome. Let me go through my slide real quick.
Looks like you're set up for this one.
All right, so how can you help us? Try us. So we are beta testing. The app isn't functional right now because we are still working on it, but it will be there. Go onto our website, go onto our social media platforms, and just request service because we will come out and we'll mow your lawn for you. Also, if you see the very bottom right there, it says use promo code 1MillionCups and receive 15% off. So for my beta testing, we're only retaining 15% from the lawn care providers because they have to deal with me harassing them all the time. So essentially what I'm giving you is I'm giving you my money. So I'm giving everyone who's in this room right now basically my service for free minus the cost of the lawn care providers. After they do that, if you choose to use us, provide us feedback, give us some reviews and stuff. We are fairly new on social media. I think we got like 4 reviews right now. So go ahead and leave feedback and reviews. And if you're interested in this room as a lawn care provider or a snow removal provider, reach out to me because we're really gearing up for the winter season where we're going to launch the app to make sure we can keep up with the demand of the city. Also, invest with us. If you are an investor in the room, we are seeking and talking to investors, and we can schedule a meeting after the fact with you as well. And keep coming to 1 Million Cups. I'm going to put someone on the spot real quick. I wouldn't be where I am today without a few people in this room. One of them is going to be my wife. She was very supportive in everything we've done, allowed me to quit my job to come and do this. The other person is Jacob Wayman, Mark Torline, Kitten Hansen, all these people. I really wouldn't be where I was. I was a new kid. I came here. I was scared. Much like you, I sat in the back. My voice squeaked a little bit when I was asking questions. But Jacob took the time and sat down with me and put me in spot and, well, in contact with a lot of people. So talk to people. You have no idea how much that can change someone and how you can really kind of nourish that entrepreneurial spirit inside of someone. So feel free to talk to people and just encourage them to keep moving forward. So that's my biggest ask from you guys, is to keep coming and keep talking.
Awesome. Well, I can agree with that. Good job, man.
Thank you very much.
That's hug-worthy.
I know. Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Hey, well, thank you again for coming. This is a one-of-a-kind, personally dispatched for you, 1 Million Cups. So
thank you.
Please keep banging the 1 Million Cups drum, and we really appreciate it.
Okay.
So good job.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you want to help us clean up afterward, that would be awesome. But please do keep coming back and helping these entrepreneurs. Thanks.